As Donald Trump huddles with campaign advisors at Mar-a-Lago today, a mystery remains. With just 68 days until the Republican convention, who will be his running mate? Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy has thoughts.
I think Trump's going to play this like Apprentice. He's going to play it out. He's going to make you join truth. He's going to make you follow it. And whoever you think's in the lead, somebody's going to come up from behind. It's going to make great television.
Another take comes from MSNBC columnist Charlie Sykes, who in our How to Win 2024 newsletter argues that Trump's search is pure cringe, with potential running mates showing they are willing to throw out history, common sense, and basic decency. Charlie Sykes is back with me, along with John Kasich, the former Republican governor of Ohio and an MSNBC political analyst. Charlie, expand on your thought. What do you mean by pure cringe?
Well, I mean, look what they have to do as part of the audition, as part of the VP apprentice show that Kevin McCarthy is talking about. They have to mimic Donald Trump's every bit of rhetoric. They have to prove that they are also election denialists. Marco Rubio is refusing to say that he wouldn't even move out of Florida. You have Elise Stefanik attacking the special prosecutor and adopting Donald Trump's use of the word hostage to describe the January 6th rioters. The ghost of Mike Pence haunts all of this because Donald Trump just does not want to go through having another vice president. By the way, the one person he cannot fire, somebody who might have vestiges of conscience, who might say no at a crucial point. So it's not just loyalty that he's looking for. He has to find somebody who is willing to do absolutely anything. And what you see is each of these candidates lined up saying, I'm willing to do the nastiest, dirtiest things. I am willing to overturn elections. In Kristi Noem's case, I'm willing to shoot a puppy, just as evidence of my willingness to make those tough decisions. And that makes this complete cringe.
That gives us a lot to talk about, Governor, because Governor Kristi Noem has had, let's call it, a tough time lately with that story that just won't go away. Her own revelation in her book that she shot her puppy. And on Fox Business yesterday, she was asked about Donald Trump.
Have you talked to him since the dog story emerged recently?
Yes, I talk to Donald Trump often, absolutely. And I will tell you one thing, is that he needs somebody who will help him win.
Did you bring up the dog?
Yes, enough, Stuart.
Did you
this
bring
interview
up the dog
is ridiculous, what you were doing right now. So you need to stop. It is.
Okay.
It is. Let's talk about some real topics that Americans care about.
I'm afraid we're out of time.
Oh, well, of course we are.
Even Donald Trump agrees, Governor, that she has had a rough couple of days. Is she done? And why?
I don't.
Why?
Come on, Chris. I mean, she's out there saying she shot a dog and I guess some other animal, and I mean that's just too much. I mean, even goat. Yeah. So I think she's out. I think what is shocking to me, not shocking, but what is disappointing to me is, if you want to be his running mate, you have to say you're not sure that you'll abide by the results of the 2024 election. I don't like that one little bit.
Can I interrupt you for just 1 second? Because yesterday, we just played Kristi Noem, but just yesterday, there was a local, when the candidates go out, they do interviews with the local TV anchors, as I knew well when I was in Albany, New York. So he's in Pennsylvania. Right. Some pretty tough questions from the local anchor there, including about accepting the 2020 election results. Here's what he said.
It would have been a terrible thing because you have to get the election straightened out. You have to fair and free elections. You have to have fair and free elections. And if you don't, you should always have the right to challenge them. You actually have to follow your heart. You have to do what's right.
It would have been a terrible thing to accept the election results, according to Donald Trump in May of 2024. So is there anything to conclude from that other than his VP will also have to be an election denier?
Well, what you get concerned about, Chris, is what happens if he does not win this election, and what is he willing to say and what are his supporters willing to do? We can't predict that. I don't know, but it's cause for great concern.
Well, even when he beat Hillary Clinton, he complained. He talked about that there were irregularities. He should have won bigger.
Look, all I can tell you is this idea that we're not going to accept election results is a fundamental undermining of the election process and what we've been built upon. And as you know, and we all know, there was a time when Richard Nixon could have challenged John Kennedy in the 1960 election. We know what John Kerry, not John Kerry, but Al Gore. I've actually talked to Al Gore about, you know, how he felt when that election was ultimately decided. I mean, in Florida, and the debate that was going around that. But, you know, he chose to put the country first. And what we're hearing now is sort of the bar has been lowered, Chris. I mean, you know, it used to be the bar was up here. And unfortunately, in politics, we've seen it lowered. But my concern is we've seen it lowered in a number of areas, and that's why we need some sort of an awakening here in this country to get that bar back up based on those values that the country was founded on.
We've only got a minute, Charlie, but what does it mean for this election if both the Republican nominee and his vice presidential running mate deny election results?
Well, and that will be the litmus test throughout the Republican Party. So Governor Kasich is absolutely right. I think people ought to be very concerned about the aftermath of this election, because given his track record, there's no chance that Donald Trump will graciously concede that he was defeated. So what does that mean for that post-election period? What will he tell his followers? Because for Donald Trump, you know, he's faced with a binary choice. He either wins the presidency or perhaps he goes to jail. That's a desperate man, and desperate people do desperate things. And I think that poses a real threat to the country after the election.
Hey,
Charlie Sykes.
One last thing. Think about this. Think about this. Maybe he'll declare that he's running in 2028. Maybe we're going to have him for a lot longer. Who the heck knows?
Maybe
we'll
you'll
see,
declare
Chris.
you're running in 2028.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
With you as my running mate.
Right.
Why not?
Former Governor John Kasich, Charlie Sykes, thank you both.